Former CIA Director John Brennan was one of the signers of the Hunter Biden laptop cover-up, and he just was invited to sit down with the House Oversight Committee to explain his role in the scheme, including answering questions about this email with Michael Morell. They sent this email to each other, playing patty cake right in the month before the election, from John Brennan to Michael Morell in response to an initial email from Michael Morell. Michael said to John in the first email, "John, can I add your name to this list? We're going to be adding Leon, Sue, George, Lisa Monaco, Mike Rogers, and others. And we're also going to add Dan Coates and Mike Rogers and Tom Bossert and a lot of other intelligence community career folk. We're trying to give the campaign, particularly during the debate on Thursday, a talking point to push back on Trump on this issue. Thanks, Michael." And John Brennan, the CIA director, responded. He said, "Okay, Michael, add my name to the list. Good initiative. Thanks for asking me to sign on." A couple of Trump haters very excited about creating a talking point for Joe Biden and the Biden campaign. Let's see what Jim Jordan had to say about it after the proceeding occurred.
CIA director have to say when you put the screws to him?
He said for a 4-hour interview, Jesse,
4
and he
hours.
further confirmed that this thing was all political. Understand that Tony Blinken first contacts Mike Morell and says, "Oh, what do you think about this laptop issue?" And then Blinken later that same day, October 17, 2020, sends Mike Morell the USA Today article, the story. That story gets put in the very letter that John Brennan, Mike Morell, and 49 other former intel officials sign on to. And they, again, just didn't sign on as Mike Morell, private citizen exercising his First Amendment rights. John Brennan, they signed on as former acting director of the CIA. They used their title. So yeah, we expect public servants not to use their title to influence an election. And it was so political when it was all done, this talking point they wanted to give Joe Biden for that final debate with President Trump. It was so political. After that debate's over, the campaign calls up Mr. Morell, thanks him for it. He gets an attaboy
Great
from
job.
Steve Ricchetti, chairman of the Biden
Exactly
campaign.
what we
So
needed.
it just further confirmed all that.
So, Congressman, did you ask him why the CIA lies to voters to swing elections to Democrats?
We asked him about what took place in the Publication Review Board, where it looks like someone, based on what Mr. Carrions, another individual who signed that letter, who had a different matter pending in front of that review board, gets called in October by that review board, and they said, "Your book is fine. Oh, by the way, would you like to sign on to this letter?" So an employee of the CIA was actively soliciting people to sign on to this letter that was used in a total political fashion with all their names associated, so Joe Biden would have a talking point in the debate. Why do you need a talking point if the laptop's not real? If it's all fake and Russian information, why would you need the talking point? And he presented it as if it was all organic. They wanted to do this as if there was no political motivation whatsoever, and we know that was not accurate.
It would be very nice to get some answers about why our intelligence agencies did that and what the repercussions will be, if there will be any. Matt Gaetz was also out. He posted this on his congressional website. He said that they met with him for 5 hours. Today's interview draws into sharp relief the extent to which the effort to discredit the damning information on the Hunter Biden laptop letter was hyper-political, organized by former national security leaders and coerced by people who were working at the CIA at the time. And they told us that they were the experts and they were very smart. They were doing all of this to protect us. But now we know that they were basically political hacks. How do we know that? Well, because many of them also donated to Democrats. This story came over from Just the News. Says several of the 51 ex-Intel officials who signed Biden laptop letter donated to the Democrats. You're kidding me. That's just so weird. Here, just weeks before the presidential election, when they dropped this letter, a big group of them donated to Joe specifically. They went through FEC commission filings. 30 months later, congressional investigators are uncovering exactly what triggered this. Anthony Blinken, a campaign advisor to Joe Biden, who got rewarded with the Secretary of State position after he got this done. He sent a letter to Michael Morell, wanted to create a talking point. They did it. A joint report was released, but according to FEC records, at least 12 of the people who signed on to the letter made donations. James Clapper, you're kidding. Former CIA director Leon Panetta. And all these people signed as former directors. All of these people made donos in the amount of $18,900 over to Joe Biden. Many people made donations to political candidates, but not all of us could write letters that the media would take and run, that our candidates could use as talking points to spread literal misinformation and disinformation to the country. But the CIA did it, and the media enabled them to do it, and it is just disgusting.